Welcome back, y'all. Tyler Talks. We're going to talk about what can be a very scary word. We're going to talk about commitment today. So, in honor of my recent engagement, we're going to talk about committing to your deck. It is, at time of recording, July 9th. I am going on I'm going on vacation in 2 days. I guess that's an underlying joke with some of my friends in the community that if I'm not working, I'm on vacation and I'm never working. So um, I start my promotion on the 15th. So I have a couple days left going on vacation Thursday with some friends. He's going to be my best man and then one of my other groomsmen and their wives and kids. Uh, and then the best man and his wife is how I met Jess. Jess and his wife Emily were living together. Um, so yeah, little background story. So we are talking about commitment, and it is July 9th. Nationals is right around the corner. We have, I think, North Central Regionals this weekend and East Central, which I was very bummed that I could not go to. It's my favorite play group. So you got Booster Jones and the young men coming down from Kentucky. My Alabama boys coming up, and they're all meeting at Chris's church in Knoxville. So it is a very good time, very competitive. Most of the time you're playing, like you got the Anderson brothers too. There's just a lot of good people. Just a lot of fun. And then Sean and I text, and we'll talk on the phone. We'll talk strategies and life. So just a lot of people I enjoy being around. So I'm bummed I don't get to do that. But I'm going out of town, so it'll be fun. Um, so if you're not sure about your deck yet, like it's time to commit. Like you have got to. I try to say every year, you have got to know your deck by nationals to where you could recreate it without if it wasn't there and you had all the cards, you had to redo it. And it's like, oh, that never happens. Ask John Early. He just had to do it the other week. So for this, you'll see a very, let's see, common. You see a little bit of Demon Thieves. This one's more of a GOC focus, like Unity. You'll see just normal. I have seen more Mary and Joanna, more Mary. Mary's phenomenal, like turn one hero. And she's just good in general. Um, I like her as a turn one hero. I like her with the resurrection, and you can play some like CBP stuff with her too if you want, or CBN. A lot of people would do that. I'm playing Cross Coliseum, so I am not doing CBN. And you don't even need to play all these cards in this defense. You can take out Mocking Thief. You could take out Temple Thieves if you really want. You could take out Possessing, but that kind of goes against what we're trying to do. Um, but you could take out an evil character or two and an enhancement. Y'all know me. I do like playing with a few extra defensive cards. It's where I feel comfortable. And Jaden showed a video last year, and I talked to him about it where I was like, I thought the concept was the best, and no one used it in Type 1. I thought it was crazy. And you do have people using, and it's choose the blocker, but it's with tokens and demons. So you have some people doing it now, and people in Kentucky Play Group, but we did see more fools in choose the blocker with fools. And if you're not familiar with that concept, it's a evil character with identifier of a fool. Like that right there is identifier of thief on the card. So right there, that's your identifier, and it says thief. There's one called a fool, and if you draw it and get to use the star ability, you get to put it in your opponent's territory. And there's also a new promo called Tribute, and I can just give you a card in my territory and put it in yours. So people are using more choose the blocker strategies. Choose the blocker has won multiple national titles or been involved in national winning decks. Choose the hero is less talked about, and it's really just focused on Herod the Great. Choosing the hero is extremely strong. I love Pontius Pilate. If they splash in a Nakeem and you can get through their negate, they have one like Herod's Temple. You can get through that and you can just keep bringing Hakeem in. I like to play Pontius Pilate in my reserve with Deceiver. And as soon as I just negate your Herod's Temple, I should be able to Pontius Pilate to victory. I've played Romans like Herod's before. I really like that defense. And you get Pontius Pilate and Herod the Great, and you just get like the strongest evil characters in the game with Denarius and stuff. So I really like that defense as well. But we're doing some choose the hero here. We're doing choose the blocker. And we're doing the tokens with auto kills with Covenant with Adam. I was running, this was a long time ago, we were playing Classic. I was at a Type 2 only up in Minnesota, and Gabe was there. And I was running Emperors, and Emperors used to primarily be like a 1 defense. Like that was just kind of their thing. It was however many years they reigned was their strength, and then they all had 1 toughness. So Gabe was running an Ehud Azahel deck with Covenant with Adam. And so if you put out any small characters, he could just choose them and they were automatically dead. And I was running Emperors, so there was really nothing I could do. And that game was over in minutes. But Choose the Blocker has always been extremely strong. Jaden had a video last year with showing the concept of Zacchaeus and Simon do not say evil human, they say evil character, which changes things. If it said evil human, you can't choose animals, beasts, demons. You can only choose humans. So if it says evil character, you can just pick any evil character that is in their territory. So Jaden showed this and he played silver with it. And when I spoke to Jaden, it's like I thought that was the best concept, and I was shocked no one did something like this, where they just played a different offense. Like you can keep Zacchaeus and Simon and just play like GOC good stuff. So you still get your main choose heroes. You still get your Gabriel band. So, and you could put Expatriator between Angel Appears and Jerusalem. You can get them and Crowd's Choice. It's just a real tight reserve. So, but you can play Expatriator. I just didn't go too heavy on silver. Res Revealer is really just in there trying to get like a turn 1 res off with Angel Appears and all that. So, but yeah, I was really surprised that no one modified that deck and played just like a Disciples kind of offense with Choose the Blocker. The other aspect is you don't have to play orange. So when I was talking to Jay I was talking to him yesterday about this deck. And he was like, yeah, but orange is just kind of squishy. Like it can't block well. I was like, yeah, you don't play orange. You play Thieves. You just splash orange in there. And if anything, you're using Judas and the Thief anyway. People talking about Judas, I talked about it last video. Judas being underrated is crazy to me, but it's right. People are using Judas as a hero and not an evil character. So use Judas. You're restricting good doms when they're attacking. You have Colosseum down. It's really hard for them to get around things. Now, sure, they're going to toss and kill Judas. That's fine. But they're still going to waste an enhancement and stuff. And you're in a band. So we are going to place with Sorted and Possessing. We're going to negate good cards in their territory, which that's massive. This is what I say is underrated. So Judas is just, he's played heavily. He's underrated as an evil character, sure, but the fact that he still played a lot. Possessing Spirit, once again, I keep telling y'all, look at what Chad does. Like, Chad is playing phenomenal, very smart, very strategic, and he was playing Herods with Possessing Spirit. So it's Unity evil characters, Gospel. That is okay. I think you can do a lot of strong defenses with that Unity and stay competitive. But you take out their Bethlehem Stable, their Chamber, their Herod's Temple, their Good Seed, any of their characters in territory that are territory class. Obviously, anything territory class enhancements. If you get a possessing spirit over on a couple decks, they can't really do much, and especially when people want negate neutral. But yeah, any sort of negate neutrals, or a Judas as a hero, just really strong, and not giving them territory class enhancements while you still get them. So if I can, and we could bring in like another angel in here with Chamber. We'd have to probably take out 2 good cards, but we can do Chamber and negate evil cards in their territory, get down Possessing Spirit, negate good cards in their territory, and that's massive. Like, that's 3 rows of their territory are negated, right? The good, the evil, and then you pop a Distress down there, and boom, all 3 rows are negated. So you can get a lot of value with a couple cards, and Possessing Spirit just isn't played. So I very much like him in Demon Thieves, and I haven't even been playing with him much in Demon Thieves last year and in other videos. Here and there I have. But the fact that he negates so much, can be a ban, can be an add to battle off Gates of Hell, that's very good. Because he can come in and then I can just ban to a Gospel Evil character. He's like the Gabriel version. Having the add to battle is very strong. Being able to ban to any Gospel Evil character is very, very good. Then negating everything. And then I Covenant with Adam, or don't even need Covenant with Adam if they're not playing orange. And I just Gabriel, negate Possessing, and have one of 2 ways to choose him. And then that's it. I win the battle off that. If I'm negating stuff, choosing who you're blocking with the cross up, it's very difficult for opponents to get around that. It is very good to have Expatriator because he gives you the additional negate, like if there is a Gates of Hell or a Sheol, which is probably why Chamber of Angels needs to be in here, because you can negate things and evil cards in their territory. So yeah, probably Chamber and Expatriator come in here for just additional lines of negates to where they just can't add to battle. But that's really not a hard fix. Like if we could lose Faith of Samuel, we could lose Mocking or Temple. I like both of them. They're very good. And we can lose an enhancement and bring in Chamber and short up. It is 51 cards. So enough blabbering on. Commit to your deck. It's time for Nationals. If you're having a tough time, hit me up, hit up Jaden, hit up people that are making decks and putting them out there. Jay, if you're like, hey, I don't want my competition to know, that's fine, but maybe you could ask about a few cards. I don't know, but if you're unsure about what to play or the meta, use Discord, use your resources. Sean's a good friend of mine, and he's very much like, he talks to Josh P, and that's about it. So Sean will be very much more reserved, and I don't want anyone to know. And then he'll come out with this crazy deck. So it just depends on if you can do that on your own or not. So if you're like, yeah, you know what, I don't have a full grasp of the meta, or I went to a lot of tournaments, but they were all in one region. I didn't get to travel, or I didn't get to, maybe if you're newer to the game, you didn't get to talk to as many people. Like you don't have that relationship with other players like Babooni Tim and Jaden Justin, Brian and Jeremy. I'm trying to hit like different regions. So if you don't know like strong players in their regions and you're just in yours, then yeah, reach out, start that relationship. So reach out to me. I am very, very active. So yeah, we're going to run through this real quick and kind of see how it goes. I would be surprised if there's not variations of this at Nationals. The defense is very strong, and getting that auto kill off a choose is very strong. You don't have to play the Colosseum. You don't have to play the cross. You can take out that stuff for chamber and expatriator. You can still block. And what's nice is you're just make sure you're not giving your opponent the chance to block. That's really the biggest thing. You don't want them to Herod the Great you or get you on a Thieves band. Like, you don't want any of that. You want to be able to control. The more you can negate and control what your opponent does, the better. And one thing is we put 2 possessed tokens, put them on 2 heroes. They have to bounce those heroes. Or if maybe it's heroes that they don't really bounce, or if they're playing silver, they have a tough time bouncing. They might not have as much ways to bounce. So if you can 2 possessed, they still would have to bounce both of their characters. And you can strategically put 2 possessed on characters that they have to use, like they're relying on, like a John the Fisherman, and like a Lazzy. You can put it, now don't put it on like a Zacchaeus or someone, because you're not negating their ability. You're just restricting their enhancements, or like a Bander. So you're restricting them from playing enhancements, so it doesn't negate their ability or anything. So you got to know who to put like Sordid Spirit on, what to put it on. If you want to place Afflicting Spirit on someone where an ability matters to negate, and then an ability matters, or a character matter for playing enhancements. And the 2 possessed, once you put the tokens on it, they can't negate that. So it's like, once the tokens are on them, that's it. This doesn't 2 possessed doesn't hang around in territory. The ability activates, you put the tokens on them, and while the tokens are there, those heroes are restricted. The hero's controller is restricted from playing enhancements on those heroes. And then you can come at them with this crazy band, and either way, your Thieves can ban to a Thief, or your Thieves can ban to, once again, a Thief, and it can be Judas. And Judas can go to the Thief, or you can just ban to the Thief and go to Afflicting Spirit. Or you can do Thieves band, once again, anything with Judas, and then Sordid Spirit to Afflicting Spirit. And that's a very, very good block. Also, if you're going to 2 possessed, if they don't bounce those heroes and you get this band into an Afflicting Spirit, that's very good. So think about it as if you can, they're going to try to target this guy. They're going to try to kill Condemned Thief, Old Crooked Nose. They're going to try to kill him, and there's a few others that they're going to try to get rid of, like Judas. But you're still going to be able to prevent the next with a band and then choose a hero. And if you get a place on there too, your place turns into multiple blocks if they can't get rid of it. Like you get 2 blocks, or it turns into an auto rescue. Because you just come in, Covenant with active, or Covenant with Adam, and boom, it's dead. So you want your offense and defense to synergize and just be able to be used together. That's why we went the Dom selection as well. Choosing the hero, Glory of the Lord, Falling Away, choose the blocker. Just very good. And between Possessing Spirit and Sordid Spirit, we should be able to negate their protection. So we should be able to stop what they're doing and really have a lot of control on our end. And I was talking to Rob Smith. We were just talking like, is Goy's going to be around? And like this offense still works just fine without Goys. Like you have all those dominants. Worst case, you keep some Disciples purple. If you're worried about it, maybe switch something up and have an Expelled from Heaven and get that purple silver in there, or have some strong purple enhancements. I would just say like Expelled from Heaven's fine. And then the other aspect being with Salty, like being able to play, crowds like the Protector Lost Soul. If we are seeing that, we're seeing it on deck lists. If we are seeing more crowds and Protector, it's just whatever you want to call it. So the hand protection Lost Soul with ways to play it, what's called turn zero. Before the game has officially started, we draw 8. So right now we're in turn zero. Me and my opponent would be in turn zero. That's when you're doing stars and Lost Souls, and it's before anyone has officially gone, that limbo stage. And if people are able to play Protector, and that's going to be a heavy part of the meta, is Matthew still going to be as efficient? And he will. Rob's point was good. Yeah, people's aren't reliant on him. I think good people aren't relying on him. So make sure if you're reliant on your Matthew, or you're very comfortable, like I say, I'm comfortable with more defense. If you're comfortable with Matthew and you're kind of expecting to get a draw 4 or 5, what would it be here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they would get a draw 5 on me, and that's before Lawless triggers. Maybe I take something else. If I took a Wages of Sin. But more than likely, they're getting a D5. And if my opponent is just comfortable and expects a D4 or D5 on their first turn, and you withhold that from them, you get the hand protection down, are they able to recover mentally if they think, oh, I didn't get the start that I was expected to? So from here, we'll go Lawless on ourselves because we don't have an opponent. Wah, wah, wah. I just about always take Thief. That would bring us up to the Matthew count of 6, and I don't really care. I think it's worth it. So we lose our Hopper. We don't have a ton of Soul Gen in here. We really don't. So that's something I always say in your deck. Have 3 ways to Soul Gen. Whether it's a Hopper, a Lost Souls, and a character that captures over there, always have 3 ways to Soul Gen. Let's see. So from here, do we want to go first? Do they want to go first? Whichever. We don't necessarily know. Either way, if we want, we have our Matthew turn 1. We have a Matthew with an Overcome and an Angel Lord. But if I'm relying on that, then that's no good. I could still, I'm fine with going John the Fisherman or Simon Peter as well. If their hand's protected, then I'm completely fine going to Simon with Bethlehem Stable, and having an Overcome and an Angel Lord in my hand. So just know, other strong attacks you should have in your deck if needed. And if I was playing some more purple, his Reveal a Good Dominant, you lose the Meek aspect, which is better, but there's really good portions of purple that people don't play or even look at. So if you wanted to play Cross Coliseum, you could Reveal a Good Dominant from hand all day. We'll give ourselves a 4. How about that? Reveal a Good Dominant from you could Reveal a Good Dominant from hand easily. It's a 50-card deck with, let's say, 7 Lost Souls and a Hopper, so it's a 42-card deck, and you draw 8 cards. So you have 34 cards left in your deck at the very beginning. So if you break it down, 7 of your, based on what you drew and what's left in your deck, you have 7 total dominants. If you want, they could all be, I'm not playing Woes in this, I know. I could take out Falling Away for 3 Woes, and now I have 7 good dominants. And I can use Woes and Chronicles, Woes and Glory of the Lord defensively as well. So I still don't quote-unquote lose my defensive dominance. I can just use my offensive ones defensively if I need to, and I have 7 good doms. So 7 out of what do we say? You draw your 42 cards. So 7, 42, it's a 1 in 6 chance that you have a dominant in your hand. It's not exact math, but it's pretty close. So yeah, point being, you're going to have a good dominant in your hand. If you ever want to look at purple, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with purple. And what I've talked about before is your opponent does not know a purple enhancement. So from here, we've got a couple things. I like Angel of the Winds to whoever I want, and Lazy to negate evil cards. So we do have a strong rescue already where we can just Angel of the Winds in exchange. But we need to know who we're exchanging. If we just want, we can activate Lazy first, and then Lazarus will negate evil cards, and then I can bring in Zacchaeus and reserve an evil card in play. So I can already use Zacchaeus as a battle winner. So it just depends on what we want to do. More than likely, I'm going to flip negate evil cards and draw one and bring someone else in. It's probably Zacchaeus. I'm just thinking if there is like a John the Fisherman that I want there instead. It really depends on, more than likely I already negated what they're doing. And that's a very good rescue. It's Luke and John, so I don't get it. You get the exchange, and then it looks at who's left, I believe. So Luke and John are not the same books. And I could have done that too, to where it's like, all right, what are my heroes in John? And I don't know if I have any. Okay, so if I really wanted, like there's certain ones I could bring in. Yeah, Peter. And gotten Bethlehem Stable and gotten a D3. If my Matthew, Lazarus, negate evil cards bring in Peter, if I think that was enough, which it probably would have. And getting the draw 3 plus Bethlehem Stable is really good. So just depends on what they block with. But yeah, knowing your deck, what you can do. Golgotha down. When you play Golgotha, you need to know who you're getting. So if you play it, you can't look at your hand while you're searching. We already have everything we need, and we know we're going to. I like having Highwayman first and then going Thief into Plunderers, just because that ensures me that I have Highwayman. And this is why I like defense. Like, I felt like that attack was really strong, and then I still have plenty of cards to where, if they saw me take Highwayman, I would have put Highwayman down instead of Condemned. But if they saw me, I'm sorry, but I still have, like, this is an insane ban turn 1. But the fact that I have just as many defensive cards as good cards in my deck, and they're just very strong and they band together, makes it very difficult for my opponent. And we can play, like, we can do Purloin. There's a couple of cards we can add if we're worried about Pot of Mana, like a Honeypot deck. I just don't think we're going to see Honeypot at Nationals. I think it's a phenomenal deck. But I think, like I said this on the podcast, a world where Honeypot, I'm glad Jay made it and won his tournament with it. I think that's amazing. I'm just saying, in like an alternate world of Jay doesn't show people Honeypot and Jared doesn't show people Ashkelon and Jaden doesn't like put it together and make it. If Jared like gives that deck or idea privately to someone, that's like a John Early deck all day. And you just have an Ashkelon build with Honeypot in the meta, and no one has seen those before. Oh, that's a wrecking face. So I like that we share, but I also love the idea where 2 decks were secret. I don't know what decks are secret. I don't think there's anything. I've talked before about like a Pot of Mana build where people are just focused on Honeypot, and they don't need to be. You can focus on Holy Holies, Arc. You can do like Priest Wilderness with Holy Holies and Arc, because you get the add to battles. And you can do like Pot of Mana can be used with a ton of offenses that don't need Holy Holies, and you can just have Pot of Mana, and then your opponent has to get around that. So there's a lot of ways that you just look at strong cards and leverage them. So then from here, if they attack, Highwayman. I don't go straight to Coliseum if I don't have a band, because then they can just. I'm worried if they can toss like an untouchable for 7 and there's boom, I'm dead. So if I can band, I'm good. Um, and then it's just a matter of which way do we want to go. Judas, the Thief. Once you know your bands, it's an easier defense to play. But yes, you very much have to know how you're banding so you don't miss stuff. Yeah, so from here, now I have Coliseum down. I'm restricting good dominance. I'm preventing the next, and I'm taking enhancement from their hand. And if they had any sort of hand protection that wasn't a Lost Soul, then the Thief was going to negate it. So, or a neutral card. Pretty much, I mean, if they had like Storehouse or Bethlehem Stable, then I will prevent the next, restrict good dominance, tossing CBN, taking enhancement from your hand, and this is turn 1. This is my turn 1 block. I don't. There's not very many things in the game that can get through this, especially when I'm preventing the next, tossing, and looking at your hand, and you can't play a good dom. So I can look at your hand and take the best, and more than likely I'm playing your colors because everyone's playing gospel offenses. More than likely I'm taking something, and I'm getting a hand look for my next attack, and I can take an evil enhancement. If I'm like, oh, they can't get through me, all they have is a CBN and I'm preventing the next, and they have something else, and I can just negate it, then I'm taking an evil enhancement, knowing that they can't block me. So I don't know how they could get through this. Maybe they start chipping away at it, like they toss a CBN for 1 or something, if it's like an X or something, and kill like Judas or Condemned. But there's not many decks in the game that can get through that turn 1. It's just too much. And you can play Galileans and Golgotha, Withdrawing, and Lawless, and make sure that, and Amalekite Slave and Deceiver, like Wages of Sin, and you have all these ways to where you're getting this 3 and 4 hero, discard an evil card from the reserve. You're getting this 3-4 evil character band that does so much. If I know they couldn't get through that, and I took their evil enhancement, and I just need to attack, like, that's very strong. I don't love always doing Coliseum first because I miss out on Jerusalem. I really like having Jerusalem turn 1, but because then I could get my Gabriel for a band and having Angel in this. So I don't love, or getting like Send the Helper. So it really depends on what I think I can do afterwards. And from here, just attack with Matthew and have a negate I get back and have a love one another with an Angel. That's pretty good. If they Christian Martyr or do something, then yeah. But I would think that gets through between both of these that early on, especially if I just took something from their hand. So then we go back to the defense, and of course, the Thief came right back to us. And now we can kind of be a little mean. Like choosing the hero is nice, but just having that constant negate. But I'm going to continuously do this band. And now when the Thief is down, he can exchange to territory. I don't have to go to deck. So now it goes Highwayman, and then Highwayman gets to play Jerusalem. And you can play Den of Thieves in here too. It's just at what point are you saturating your deck with a lot of cards that take the... You either need the opponent to do something for them to get value, or you're waiting for the card to get value, and you don't want to saturate your deck with that. You want to have a few, and there needs to be a reason. So yeah, Highwayman, Judas, Thief, Plunderers, Condemned. I love Unclean Until Evening. I wouldn't be able to play anything after that. Like I can go Seized, then Unclean, or Unclean. So I just don't see them. They have to chip through this. They got to pretty much toss one down. Like they had to kill Judas, um, and maybe kill, I don't know, Condemned like over time. And then I still feel comfortable. And I love the Thief with Mocking Thief. If I can negate your Bethlehem Stable, because that's probably all you got for deck protection, and I can take an enhancement from your deck. So after I snagged one or two from your hand, then I just take one from your deck. I mean, how many enhancements are we looking at? If I took an evil enhancement from your deck and two from your hand, that's it. You're out of enhancements. Like, you have to rely on your reserve from there on to block me, and I'm just going to take that away from you by choosing. And we actually miss on the Galileans because we don't have the New Testament. But we do have Jerusalem. When I play Jerusalem, I like to play heavy New Testament. But more than likely, we're going to reserve our Glory of the Lord or something here. Hey. So now you got to know, what do I need? And a lot of good options. We could get Gabriel going with Zacchaeus. We can get 2 Possessed on them, and knowing that we have a block, we can get 2 Possessed for a block, and then the next turn Gabriel. We can start bouncing. We can do that anyway. We know we have Book of the Covenant. We can play our Good Seed and have Add to Battle. So there's really a lot, but we don't offensively have a ton of options. And I know I can bounce my hero to play Angel Appears. So that's all my upkeeps. Book. I need some help. Bounce him. Make sure I have hand advantage. And then we still have, we're going to have a real good attack here with Resurrection. We didn't put anything in Golgotha yet, so we could, whether it's, like, there's a lot of good choices. So it really just depends on what you want. Another underrated card, I talked about it last video, Forsaken. This is Derek Torado was telling me he's been playing it. And at first I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't think you're going to get a lot of value on it. And I was like, well, if you draw it in a band, it comes in and negates. And some are CBP, some are CBI. So if you can draw it on a CBP, which is more common, then their band's negated. And that's on either side, good or evil. So it's really good putting Forsaken if you draw it in battle. And having that negate that's just constantly preventing their band abilities is really good. We're seeing tons of Hospitality in Bethany and Child is Born. So those are negated. And that's another thing where I've talked about with Colosseum, where if I have Forsaken down, my opponent forgets, and I go Plunderers to Condemned Thief, and I take something, and they play another enhancement thinking that they're going to get a mass band. They can't play Ascension because Colosseum's out, and they can't play any of their mass banding because Forsaken's out. So I actually think Forsaken is very good. It also helps, which is kind of like choosing if I leave their character in battle. Like, it negates bans so they can add to battle. Yeah, we're not really seeing lurking anymore because of Matthew, but either way, Forsaken's good. I go right on with Resurrection Revealer, play the Riz, and go to... We really like getting Resurrection early. We like having that Bethlehem Stable and going from there, but it is okay. What am I doing? I didn't play Bethlehem Stable. And I've talked about that in so many videos that you have to play Stable before you play Hero. And then I get to band up to 3. Um, so depending on what I saw in their hand previously, I could choose or I can just reserve. Um, I do think if I just bring in John, show him Angel, toss the next, and getting able to negate evil cards, um, getting the draw one, and choosing who they block with, it's really, really good. Still having like multiple things to play on that as well, like tons of enhancements. You just don't really need a ton of enhancements when you're choosing. Like Zacchaeus is just an ongoing battle winner. So we want 2 banding cards in here. We want Faith of Samuel. We want Child is Born because we want to band in John and Zacchaeus. We want to rescue with like a John the Fisherman with good seed out and just add in Zacchaeus as well. Like toss the next, add Zacchaeus with Forsaken out. That's a sneaky play. And then they have to get around all this again. And now we can draw if we want. Like I like having 2 turns of setup and knowing that I can just draw afterwards. And then we can ban to Plundy. And if we want, we can the Thief to Mocking. I really like Temple Thieves as well. Taking their artifact is huge. A lot of people are playing Book of the Covenant, and it's not protected. I take your Book of the Covenant, that's massive. So I like playing Temple Thieves, and then I can go to the Thief and go to Afflicting. Because it's a generic demon from deck or territory, and they are both in my hand. So prevent the next. And don't worry, we can get Thief back with Wages of Sin in Jerusalem. And then I prevent the next and then can exchange a hero in battle. And just make sure that they only have 1 hero in battle if they have CBN banding. I don't like to really let them do anything else. I'd feel comfortable with the Colosseum and prevent the next to not drop a Falling Away right away. But once they play something that's prevented, unless it's CBP, I still do have my seized. So knowing that I can guarantee potentially a block because I have seized and Forsaken, or Falling Away and Forsaken, with a lone hero in battle is very good. So more than likely I would play seized. You're trying to just take their enhancements and limit the rest of their enhancements. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The deck's fast, and it can be way faster. Like I said, we could have hit on Peter with where we get the D3 on Faith of Samuel, and we play stable and go straight to Gabriel. It's tough to show like the choose because we could place this at the end on a hero. We could Sordid Spirit. We have Possessing Spirit now, so you just kind of like play that over there. And we still have our reserve to where we can take out 2 Possessed. We can drop Sordid, create our tokens. Like we can do a lot very quickly. So we have 4, and remember we can ban to Afflicting Spirit. You just got to be able to ban to a demon. So we can go, like, we lose Judas, but we can Gates of Hell and ban in our guy or grab our guy back. So we still have Jerusalem and we have Crowd's Choice. So we haven't seen Wages of Sin yet, but there's plenty that we can do where we can pull back our stuff in battle. So yeah, really just knowing how you can block. Like from here, if I played out that turn, I would have Jerusalem, move a random 1 to the top of reserve. And at this point, we're really looking to just choose and make sure they're dead. I don't really think I need any more dominance here. I'd probably take Cross, Bethlehem Stable on Gabriel, and I get the upkeep on Book of the Covenant, and then I can go back to Book of the Covenant to take Covenant with Adam, and I can activate Covenant with Adam, and I can bounce whoever I want. I don't really know who I want to bounce. I could activate the Cross, or I can Falling Away their hero first, and then activate the Cross, and Gabriel to Zacchaeus. And if I, depending on who I Falling Away, Covenant with Adam could be an auto kill. Either way, that's tough with Cross, Gabriel to negate an evil card. Zacchaeus to choose, like I'm going to negate their Gates of Hell or Sheol. Zacchaeus is going to choose. You get the decrease 03. You got to watch that decrease 03. It's yours too, so kills Judas. And if you're decreasing 3 with tossing, so just know, use it sparingly. But yeah, I would feel very confident here with winning that. And I can start also Send the Helper, like Angel from the Sun if I wanted. And I can go to Simon, and Simon can choose who I did a Falling Away for. And then I can grab a clay card with Send the Helper. I can play Send the Helper in battle because I have initiative. And then I can play Great Commission if I wanted to, and convert like X equals number of your New Testament humans. So like 1, 2, 3, 4. If I thought I was going to do that, I'd put down Lazarus as well. And I can convert all their guys in territory. So if we want, we can bring 3 woes in here. Like I said, I was just trying out a deck without 3 woes just because I think if you can negate things in their territory, like you're not super reliant on 3 woes. 3 woes is good because it's such a flexible card. Like, I'm not here saying it's not good. It is one of the best cards in the game. Super, super flexible. I think if I can just like choose the Rescuer and choose the hero, and I gain like a Falling Away and an Angel Lord, that's really strong. Like, I know 3 woes is really good, but I can negate cards other ways and then go to like just a auto rescue like ×2 with Angel and Falling Away. So something would have to come out if 3 woes comes in. And I'm not saying that's the right move. Like probably Crowd's Choice is out for 3 woes is really what I should do. I just like getting pieces that I need when I need them. So yeah, probably 3 woes just because you got to hit, just in case you have to, they get rid of Possessing Spirit or Sordid Spirit. But most of the time I'm going to Sordid Spirit, Possessing Spirit, their Herod's Temple, or whatever protection they have. And I'm just going to constantly get to, like if they have Wall of Protection and Herod's Temple, like Jeremy did last year, being able to negate that. If I get Possessing Spirit in their territory first, Moses doesn't work. So there's a lot of ways that it's like, what do I need 3 woes for? And it was really to get around if there's Wall of Protection. It was really a way to get around Herod's Temple. So I'm just playing woes in battle, getting the negate. That's really good. And then the rest of the game, I'm just negating Herod's Temple. Or I could just play Possessing Spirit and Sordid Spirit. But that's all. Look at every card in your deck and then commit to it. Know what you're going to play at Nationals. Know how to play it. Know your lines of attack. Know how to block. Know how to get out of position or out of board control if your opponent has it. And just study your deck and be ready for Nats. So I'll post this in Discord. I was going to keep it hush-hush because I was like, I talked about there's a potential for me to play Type 1. If there's an odd number, I would like to put my hat in the ring. And I just think this is very, very good. It takes the aspects of the choose and doesn't use the orange defense. It uses, in my opinion, a stronger defense with thieves, with some demons. And then instead of using all the silver, it uses a very strong gospel offense and can still stop a lot of what the opponent does. So Maybe I'll try to get it down to 50, add expatriator and chamber and post it on Discord. I'm not sure yet, but either way, you got a full deck breakdown, and we went through everything. Hate to see it, but yeah. Hopefully y'all enjoyed, and I should do a couple more videos before Nats, but it is almost time to see y'all in person. So thanks for watching.